The prompt that you see right there is going to save you an outrageous amount of time when it comes to figuring out if an Airbnb can be legally rented as an Airbnb full time or not. And it took me a while to be able to figure this out. I'm going to share it all with you, and the prompt is going to be down below in the description as well. Okay. So if you're like me, right, and you are trying to find properties all across America, you may hunt properties in a similar way that I do. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll be looking for, let's say, like a small romantic getaway. And so what I'm going to do is click into any place, any state with all these different properties. And every single one of these properties you see here are going to be in a different town or city and have different regulations for each individual location that are very, very nuanced. And it's really difficult to figure out. And so I have struggled to be able to just look anywhere in America to be able to find really, really nice properties. However, with this prompt, it actually seems like we've solved that, okay? So you can see this property right here. I don't know this property. It is a really, really nice property, though. I can see it's got a little riverfront to it. It's in Oregon. It's clearly would make a very desirable Airbnb in the way that it looks. And so there's a lot of things about this that I like. Even the price is pretty nice, too. Maybe. It is a one-bedroom. Maybe the price is a little bit high. But regardless, it's a really nice Airbnb. So what I can do now is I can grab this address and I can hop over to ChatGPT and I can input the prompt that you see right here, and it's going to spit out all the information that you see in front of me and give me a bottom line yes or no if you can actually rent this out on Airbnb. But it's also going to give me all the other information that I need to know if it's actually going to be legal, right? And I can like research it and learn a little bit more and know what I should be worried about or not worried about. With that being said, let's take a look at the actual prompt here. So I ran so many different properties through and eventually, ended up coming up with this. I actually asked ChatGPT to tell me what the perfect prompt would be. And this is what it said. So you put in the address, okay? And then say, walk me through whether I can legally run a year-round non-owner occupied Airbnb, identify the governing jurisdiction and the exact law/section, list any hard limits. So night caps, owner occupancy rules, permit caps, minimum stays, moratoria. I struggle to say that word every single time. Summarize the permit, tax, inspection, and steps and costs. Note anything that could block me today and the practical next step checklist. And then end with a clear yes/no bottom line, which is hands down my favorite part. With that being said, okay, so that little place in Oregon that I just showed you, I asked to do the exact same thing. So once you put that prompt in once, all you have to do is just say, okay, do the same thing, put in the address, and it'll do the exact same thing. The really cool thing about this is that it's actually going to think for a really long time, which in the ChatGPT world, thinking for over 2 minutes is a crazy amount of time. The reason it's doing that is because we're using the model O3, which uses advanced reasoning. I tried doing this with the 4O, and it kept getting it wrong over and over and over again. It just couldn't understand the nuances and of different zoning regulations and things like that. And so what this will do is think, but it also search all of the different things that it needs to and cross-reference it to know for sure if it's legal or not, right? You can see how many different things that it pulled up in research, which I think is just the coolest thing to be able to see. So with that being said, right away, what you can see is that it popped up and said where the house actually sits, which I find it so cool how it does that. It's like, this is where it actually is. I've had that happen quite a few times where it's like, this is not city limits. It's actually town limits, which therefore makes it legal. And I think those sort of things are one of the coolest parts of this. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that it's for this particular property, the parcel is zoned RA1 and it's in the unincorporated county. And then therefore, because of that, it's legal, right? So actually, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom line, it goes, yes, because of its unincorporated, this does allow year-round non-owner occupied Airbnb at that location. Once you secure the county STR permit, pass the safety inspection, collect the combined 12% lodging taxes, you can host 365 days a year. However, this last line right here is hands down one of the coolest lines that I came across. So it says, keep an eye out for the 2025 fee hike and the west of 101 cap proposal. Both neither block this RA1 property today. That is so fascinating because technically I didn't ask ChatGPT to tell me that, but it knows that that's really important. And so it's telling me. I love this is because I have been, when people ask me like, how do you deal with regulations? What I always say is look for a place that already has regulations in place and play within the rules. However, make sure to check to see if the general people who live there are happy with Airbnb or not. Because if everyone who lives in that area is still trying to ban Airbnb harder, even if they have regulations in place that today allow it, but everyone's forcing it to try and like get Airbnb out, that's what you want to be scared about. And that's what it kind of sounds like what's happening here. And so then therefore my next natural step is going to be like, hey, ChatGPT, give me this information so I can look into it a little bit more. To be honest, this would probably be enough for me to just ignore it completely. But I would want to look into it a little bit more and understand exactly what those cap proposals are, exactly what the fee hike is, see if I can read some articles that maybe are going to talk a little bit more about how people are feeling, things like that, just to kind of dig into it a little bit deeper. But regardless of that, how cool is this, right? Even the checklist at a glance, it's like, okay, do this, then this, then this, then this. And it's just giving you a list of what you have to do. And it's also listing out the permit and the tax inspection workflow and costs. So you understand exactly what's going to cost you to go through all this in a nice chart form. Honestly, I'm blown away by this. You even have backlinks so you can go and check out where it grabbed all of its information. Guys, this is such a big deal for me specifically because, again, the way that I search for these different properties is I'll zoom out, I'll tap into a place, I'll look for a really nice property if I can find it. I got water views on there, and there's no water views in Wyoming, I guess, when it comes to one bedrooms. So I'll just tap in here, and I'm going to search for whatever stands out the most, plug that address in. Once I get the regulations back, then I'm going to check the data. I always say step 1 is regulation, step 2 is data. Never look into the data of an Airbnb or a property without knowing if you can legally rent it or not. This just speeds up that process an insane amount. So that the prompt is going to be down in the description below. Hopefully you find this helpful. Beat it up, you guys. Like, figure out if it's not working properly. I've only ran it on like probably 20 plus properties, not hundreds and hundreds at this point. And so there probably could be ways that you can improve it, make it better. Maybe it screws up, maybe it missed something. Comment down below if any of those things happen. And if you figure out a better prompt, I'd love to hone this in for the Airbnb community so that we can get the best possible prompt. And then maybe we'll turn it into a GPT over here, and then you can just search it up and go for it. So with that being said, I hope you have found this helpful. Like and subscribe as per usual, and then check out some of my other videos if you're trying to hunt for an Airbnb. I'm all about the data over here. All right, guys, enjoy. See you in the next one.